almost that time of year again. The most unhinged thing you've done for college. I calculated exactly how to skip REM sleep so I could survive off only 3 hours a night. I don't think you're supposed to skip that. I knew my professor was cheating on his wife because he'd booed up with the other professor, and one time I found them kissing and blackmailed him. Only way I passed biology. Girl, what? I was cramming for finals, found an empty classroom to myself, and squatted over the weekend. Every time I got hungry, I'd Tinder match with someone and convince them to have a study date and bring me food. Spent so much time at the library junior year that Apple Maps asked me if I wanted to set the location as home and my apartment as work. I sleep on the floor during finals when everything is due so I can reward myself with my bed when everything is done. Y'all, wrote a 66-page paper overnight. Started at 10 p.m., submitted on time at 8 a.m. Honestly, I'm impressed. Why do half of these sound like manic episode activities? They do. I stayed up for 72 hours straight studying for a chem final with no breaks and then forgot everything when I entered the test room. Well, that'll happen when you don't sleep for 3 days, babe. I ate seasoning when I ran out of food. Felt like Bella Hadid. Listened to the same song every time I studied, so whenever I turned that song on, I would trigger my brain to study like I was Pavlov's dog. Kind of genius, though. Studied so much for a history class that I had a dream I was in the Roman Empire. Got a 90 on the final. I was visiting Hawaii, got insanely sick, locked myself in the hotel room one day and completed every assignment I had due and discussion posts while delirious from my fever and got 100s on everything. This is some next level shit. Had jury duty the day of a political science pop quiz and convinced my teacher to give me full credit despite not taking it because I was doing my civic duty. I intentionally took anti-anxiety meds to trigger a bipolar manic episode so I could study a week straight for my anatomy final. I passed. Wearing the same perfume when studying and taking exams because scent triggers memory. That is honestly so genius. I had serotonin syndrome and was rushed to the ER. I got out an hour before my orchestra concert, performed while still actively going through SS, then had to go home and back to the ER because my symptoms worsened. Y'all need to be putting your health first. Submitted all my essays a month late, then wrote a really convincing email saying I had an abortion and I got an A. I chose not to take my organic chem midterm because I decided taking it would actually harm my grade. Studying at someone's funeral, also wrote the midterm while crying about said person. We need a better system for giving grieving people time to, grieve. Hand wrote a 6,000 word history paper in 10 hours with carpal tunnel. I got 110. Damn. Third year in med school, I slept for a total of 10 hours over the finals week. As soon as the last exam was done, I crashed and didn't wake up for 36 hours and my roomie thought I had slipped into a coma. Ran out of money and food and had to eat canned pears for 3 days before Thanksgiving break. I didn't sleep for almost a week to study for my finals and only listened to the Interstellar soundtrack the whole time. I mean, it's a good soundtrack though. Me reading that dude that mastered lucid dreaming to study. What? Where's that comment? Genuinely lived off 8 chicken tenders and 1 Nature Valley bar for 6 days one time. Guys, do we need to food drive for our local colleges? Was so sick and the only thing that helped me was fresh air, so I slept on a bench outside my dorm. Hopefully it was a comfy bench. I emailed my professor and said I deserved a higher grade and he gave it to me. This is why you always advocate for yourself. I wrote fan fiction to memorize anatomy and histology. Whatever works. One time I slept under 3 hours a night for about a month because of how busy I was and started to struggle forming sentences, lost sense of time, and got days and months mixed up. Guys, I don't care how much you have to do, you have to sleep. I lived 2 hours from uni and was late for my exam. I rushed out of the house, had a seizure on the bus, fainted, escaped from the ambulance taking me to the hospital, and made it on time to my exam. I feel like your teacher probably would have excused it. Pulled an all-nighter to finish my architecture model, realized it was all at the wrong scale, panicked, threw it all away, another all-nighter to make a new one, and realized I was right the first time. I would have just quit. My friend and I were so tired of the tours that we staged a fight in front of one of them to make them leave. Wrote part of one of my final papers on my phone during my graduation ceremony because I decided to black out the night before. Still got the highest grade in my class. I learned how to solve math problems in my dreams, so I would wake up in the middle of the night to finish my unfinished homework because I finished them in my sleep. Bro, what? I started a lab report 12 hours before it was due and set alarms for every 20 minutes. I took turns sleeping for 20 minutes, then typing for 20 minutes until it was done 10 hours later. I have questions. I found a guy in my class in Tinder, swiped right and asked for homework answers, and he unmatched me. Wrote a 30-page research paper in one day when the professor had given us 3 months to write it. It was worth 40% of my grade. Got a 98. Felt like Shakespeare the way I was spamming that keyboard. Had a 100 104 fever and boils in my throat the morning of a final, so I took 6 Advil, took the exam, then passed out in my room after. Did an entire 15-week course in 2 days. How? I have a meat allergy. Ate a double cheeseburger to trigger a reaction so that I could get an extension on the assignment. Didn't even go to the ER, just thugged it out and locked in. Y'all are concerning me. I used to submit corrupt files when I couldn't finish an assignment on time. Professors would email me all concerned thinking it was an upload error. I graduated with honors in engineering. I mean, this is better than triggering a health issue, so kids, please take care of yourselves, okay?